Welcome back to Technique WOD. This video is going to be the clean overview video. We're doing a 6-part video series on the clean. This is going to be the big overview, and then we're going to come back and break down each specific position of the clean. So I'm Doug Larson with the Barbell Shrugged podcast. My brightly colored friend here with the sweet Batman ring.
Yeah.
Isn't that dope? Is Alex Macklin. He's one of our Barbell Shrugged weightlifting coaches, as well as one of our faction strength and conditioning weightlifting coaches. This is faction strength and conditioning. So like I said, today we're going to go over the clean. We're not going to get into a whole lot of detail. All I'm basically going to do right now is go over exactly how to do it. And if you want to see the most common mistakes for each specific position, then you can go to techniquewod.com and you can see each specific position. We're going to have separate videos for the first pull, the transition, the second pull, the catch, and the recovery, as well as the starting position. So first, Alex is just going to demo a clean just so we can see what we're dealing with here. So we're going to start at the bottom in the starting position. We're going to give you a few quick pointers on what a good starting position looks like. So Alex, go ahead and set up in the starting position. All right. So you can see Alex has a nice straight back, nice and flat. Hips are way below the shoulders. In fact, his hips are so low that he's almost thigh parallel to the ground, although not quite that extreme. His shoulders are in front of the bar. They're not behind the bar. Elbows are straight, and his shins are not quite to the bar, and the bar is right over his toes. So he's also hook gripping the bar where he's reaching around and grabbing his thumb. And then if you look at his knees are out over his feet. They're never to the inside, so his knees never dive towards the inside on the starting position or at any point throughout the lift. So here's a quick piece on how wide to grab the bar for the clean. For the most part, you're just going to grab right outside of wherever your knees are. So you can see Alex, he's basically with straight arms, his knee is touching his forearm, so he's just grabbing right outside of his knee. If you have particularly long arms, like I have relatively long arms, I grab a little bit wider, and that, by me grabbing wider, it brings the bar up a little bit higher on my hips, and I get better leverage when I clean. But for the most part, you're just going to grab right outside of your knees. All right, Alex is going to start his first pull, which is basically from the ground to right above the knee, kind of mid-thigh. Okay? You can see he pushed his knees back. His knees stayed out. And right now, if you look from the side, he's covered over the bar. His shoulders are still in front of the bar. Arms are still straight. Bar is just above the knee. He probably even could go a little bit higher before he starts his transition. That's probably where you're going to end your first pull. He's going to make a slight adjustment to get into a good position for his second pull. We call this the transition. What he's going to do is he's going to go to a vertical back and push his knees under the bar. Okay, you see his shoulders came back and now he has a vertical torso. His knee is pushed under the bar and it's actually bent just a little tiny bit. Right now he's in what we call the power position. So he's in a good position. He has good leverage to explode and basically throw the weight up onto his shoulders. So you have two options at this point. You can see Alex's elbows are relatively straight here. Some people like to row the weight and do more of a hip clean. Go ahead and row the weight a little higher. So on his transition, he might pull the weight and bend his elbows a little bit. You can see he has a little bit of a bent elbow here. By bending his elbows, he pulls the weight a little bit higher. You can keep it straight or you can bend. That's going to be totally up to you. That's a personal preference, whether you want to be a hip cleaner or not a hip cleaner. Both of them have merit and people have had success with both styles. So it is totally up to you.
What happened, Alex? Weight was too heavy for you?
A little bit.
Alex gets tired.
I get tired.
All right, so Alex is going to be starting here in the power position. Again, elbows are straight right now. Knees are pushed under the bar and he has a vertical back. At this point, he should have a good amount of momentum on the bar and he's just going to basically extend, shrug, and shrug himself underneath the weight. So he extends up with a little bit of a jump. And then the weight lands on his shoulders. So one more time. Some people like to think of this as a jump. Some people don't. There you go. For that little piece, I'll take the advice of Justin Thacker. He first teaches it as a jump, and then once you get good at it, he teaches it not as a jump. Okay? I like that cue. For new people, it helps them pull the weight nice and hard, but then as you get more experience, you're not trying to get quite as high. You're just pulling on the weight and then you're getting under as fast as you possibly can. All right, to demo the catch, we're going to have Alex do the full movement. I want you to notice that Alex only has to pull it to about this high to actually get it onto his shoulders, because he's going to squat all the way to the very, very bottom and catch it in that front rack position. There we go, beautiful. You'll also notice that Alex catches the weight with his hands slightly open. That makes it easier to get your elbows up if you don't have very good shoulder, wrist, shoulder, elbow, or wrist mobility. It's easier to open your hands just a little bit. If you're good at cleaning and you're a competitive weightlifter, I recommend you keep your hands all the way closed, if at all possible, but when you're just starting out, if you're not very mobile, that might be kind of hard. If we look at Alex from the front, you'll see that his feet hop out just a tiny bit, but he still keeps his knees nice and wide. That way they are slightly outside of his feet. All right, so that was a brief overview about how to do the clean. We didn't talk about common mistakes or errors for each specific position. If you want to see those videos, we have those on Technique WOD on barbellshrugged.com. So you can go to barbellshrugged.com, click on the Technique WOD videos, and you can watch all the details in those other videos on the site.